JR from Washington, D.C. 57 years old. And JR is a dude who grew up in mostly Southwest D.C. Came to move to Maryland at a young age. Thank my mother for that. A lot of my friends didn't graduate high school. A lot of my friends dead now, incarcerated. Been a hustler mostly all my life since I was young. In the streets doing what I do. I don't know what else to tell you. My childhood was good, maybe up to about 13. Pop left at 13, but he always still stayed in touch. I still saw my father every week. I think it affected me for maybe about a year or two, but knowing that I was seeing my father every day, or at least every other day, was still all right. It ain't really like I missed him, you know what I'm saying? Once I graduated high school, we got a little bit more separated because he moved, I moved on, so yeah. Mama, good cook, beat ass. She did know how to beat ass. She didn't play. She kept me in line. She had boys, so she had to keep us in line.
Look here.
Real stern, very stern. Didn't have to wait on Pops to come home. She would beat your ass. She would handle that. And I praise her for that, because I was a young man growing up and I needed that. And even to this day, I still thank her for it. Even though she's passed away, I still thank her for it.
What about characteristics about your dad?
Dad was cool. Dad was a ladies' man. Dad was just a cool guy everywhere he went. And I seemed like I had those features too sometimes, Everywhere I go, everybody showed me love. I think the first couple of days I was kind of upset. I was kind of upset that he got caught. You know what I mean? I don't know, being young, I just didn't want that problem in my house. They was always cool, laughing, loving. So I never wanted that distance between them. I never wanted that. And, but after that, it was kind of over. So, Pop went his way and Mama went her way. So, I went with Mama. So, but like I say, I saw my father still almost every day. So I got a tender side like my father. He was calm. Believe it or not, my father was calm. You really had to mess up for him to whoop you. Now my mom, she ain't play no game. She would beat your ass. She ain't play no game. But my father, you would really have to do something. You know what I'm saying? And even with my kids, there's two things I never played. I never played school and I never played disrespect. I don't care, you be the class clown, but you ain't gonna be disrespectful. You ain't gonna be that. And acting up in that school, you ain't gonna do that. Them two things, my kids not gonna do. They didn't never do that. So, and that's a long lesson. You know what I mean? In this life, you gotta be more respectful than anything. I think your manners take you a long way. And one thing I say, my children had it. 23, I was working for Fairfax County Public Schools. I was custodian. Yeah, should have stayed in that motherfucker. Should have stayed, but things happen. Moved on. I had to raise Justin. I had to raise my son Justin. So then yeah, I done been robbed in this street. One thing about this street life, ain't no rules in it, so anything can happen at any time. And a lot of people, you think your friend ain't your friend. Them the ones that's gonna rob you. Them the ones gonna rob you. A stranger don't break in your house. That's somebody that know you. Most of the time when you get into it with somebody, it's a person you know. Most of the time when somebody kills somebody, it's a person they know they did it. Strangers, you just don't get into it with strangers. Very seldom. So, with this street life come incarceration. I was incarcerated. Part of my life here and there, Virginia, North Carolina, never really D.C. Because my mother knew a lot of people, so I ain't never want to bring her no shame. So I would go to Maryland. I would go to Virginia. When I'm on vacation in North Carolina, I did some shit. So, but I never wanted to bring her no shame. You know what I'm saying? And motherfuckers know in Maryland, okay, you know in Maryland, but you don't know in D.C. Unless somebody tell you, you know what I'm saying? So that was my thing, just always make her make her right. He ain't shame her, none of that. Don't put her in nothing, no danger, none of that. And it's a hard life to come with that. So I tell anybody, young man, if you ain't ready, and if you can't fight, please don't come to jail. You better have some goddamn fighting skills, because that gun ain't there and you can't call your mama. You can't call your boy. You can't call nobody. So whatever you young men out there doing, I suggest you get in the gym, get some box gym. If you hit it, you doing that street gang shit. Because guess what? You going to have to fight in there, bro. Can't go get that pistol. Can't go get that stick. Now, you might go get that knife or that shank. But, bro, somebody bigger than you and better than you might shank your ass. So you better be ready. That's all I can tell you. You better have some fighting skills. That's the only thing I can tell you.
Would you say being incarcerated once or twice calmed you down a bit?
Yes. I believe it will calm. It'll calm you down. Oh, yeah, incarceration will calm you down. For some people. Some people need it. No doubt about it. I wouldn't wish that on no man, though. I wouldn't wish incarceration on no man. You know, I wish you death first. I'm sorry, I wish you death first. At least you free. I wish you death first. I think it's a slow death. You know, incarceration, you lose your family. You know, you can lose your mother being incarcerated, man, and not go to the funeral. You know, they ain't gonna let you out for no funeral. You know, people don't know you lose a lot. Lose your woman, lose your children. You lose a lot. So incarceration really ain't worth it, man. What motivates me is that I know my children know what to do. I don't really have to worry too much. They handle their business. They call me when they don't, but that's cool. It's not a problem. That's what I'm here for. But most of them handle their business. They handle their business. And that's what I like most of all about my children. They handle their business. So that makes me proud more than anything, and they stick together. You know what? A lot of times, man, I self-medicated. You know, marijuana, liquor and shit. Did that. You know, I had to find other things to do, man. You know, me, myself, I was always, still to this day, always trying to make money, man. That shit on my mind when I go, that shit is, it's just there. I don't know, it's in my blood from my mother's side. Them country folks is always hustling. I know where I got that from. I ain't really get that from my father's side. But I just always just had to make ends meet for me, man. You know, I always had to take care of me. And once I start taking care of me, the rest come natural. You know what I mean? Once I take care of me, I can spread the wealth. But I gotta take care of me, you know? And I gotta get out there and get it, man. Shit ain't gonna come on the porch. You know, I did a lot of shit wrong, man. I know I have. But Lord done blessed me, man. Kept me out here. Hey, ain't no more I can say. You know to that, so. You know where I want to be a lawyer? I always wanted to be a lawyer. I could always talk. So that was my gift. Still to this day. You know, we was joking about it the other day, me and the guy on the street. And I said, well, if a joker pull a gun on me, if he give me at least 2 minutes to talk to him, he's not going to shoot me. But you got to give me a couple of minutes to talk to you. If you give me a couple of minutes to talk to you, you're not going to shoot me. So my mother always said, you got the gift. You got a gift for gab. You have it. You know, he said, you can sell cars in the fucking rain. That's what my mother used to say. My mother, your grandmother used to say, boy, you can sell cars to a motherfucker in the rain. Man, that was... I think it was one of the most traumatic things that happened when I was being a young father. But I can say this, God blessed me with good women and put good women in my circle and put good women in his circle. Most of the women that I have in this life or had in this life were very good to him and very good to my children. But being a single father was, I felt the pain of a single mother. I didn't have to stand in line for food stamps for him. People denying me and shit. Didn't have the right congressman and shit to get food stamps for my baby, food stamps for my son, because I'm a man. People looked at me different. Just being a single dad. You looked at different. And then it's always the question, where's his mom? So, a lot of times, didn't really want to explain it. Once again, bring no one shame. No one. That's how I am. I ain't bringing you no shame. That ain't what I do. So, I dealt with it. And like I say, I had to hustle harder then. You know, I got daycare I got to pay for. I got Pampers I got to pay for. Not one person. But like I said, I met some good women in my life. Real good women in my life. That took care of him. Loved him. Just like it was theirs. And I name them. Gwen, Mona, Monique. Took care of him. Like it was hers. And they did that. All the time. And I gotta say that. I gotta give them credit for that. They did that. A lot of times, they took the burden off of me. Just by being there. Just by being there. Takes the burden off of you. Take a little weight off of you. Because you're always worried about the next step. Being a parent, young parent, you're always worried about the next step. And that's why I always tell my kids, be ready. Instead of getting ready, you be ready. You always be a step ahead of the game. Always.